Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Acharei Mos if you're in Chutz, and Kedoshim if you're in Eretz Yisrael. So welcome back from your Pesach vacation, and I have a question for you. Why is it that since Acharei Mos and Kedoshim are often combined, that we let this gap between what Eretz Yisrael lanes, Kedoshim, because they really laned Acharei Mos after Pesach, and Shabbos was already no longer the holiday, so they didn't have special reading, and they read Acharei Mos, so this week they're going to read Kedoshim. But we, since in Gullus and Chutz, since it was still Yom Tov, so we read a Yom Tov laning, and we didn't yet read Acharei Mos. So why don't we just take the simple way? They'll say Kedoshim, we'll do Acharei Mos Kedoshim, and we'll be in sync with the laning of Eretz Yisrael and Chutz. Instead, we wait all the way until just about Tisha B'Av, more than 2 months from now, for Matos-Maasei. Before we answer that, I just want to use our regular connection to Shevii of the Parsha, Shevii to the Sofa Parsha. So in there in Perek Lamed, Perek Yudches Pasuk Lamed, so it says Ushmartem Mishmarti Levalti Asos Mechukos Atoevos. So we read a whole bunch of lavin, things that we're not allowed to do, including abominations, and the Torah says you should make protections around my charges, not to do these averos. This actually connects very well with the first perek of Pirkei Avos, which after Pesach we start reading that until each Shabbos, until Shavuos, and then many people have a minute to continue on for a few more months until Rosh Hashanah of saying a weekly portion of Pirkei Avos and its tremendous lessons there. Interesting enough that in the first perek, in the first Mishnah even, it ends with Heim amru shlosha devarim have a mesunam bedin v'hamidim talmidim harbe v'asus yag l'torah, make a fence around the Torah. So Rambam and Rabbi Yono, they all bring down this pasuk of this Parshas Acharei Mos, Shmartem Shmati, that's making the siyag l'Torah. So that if you stay away, you make these fences so you don't sin, especially I guess for these abominations mentioned in the Parsha of Acharei Mos. But of course, it really is for all sins. There are many things we don't do on Shabbos, for example. It might not be muksa to go riding a bike. Well, it's muksa now, but it might not be strictly us or otherwise, but we're afraid that you might do some other actions. Or if you ride a horse and you'll take the branch off the tree, which would be a doraisa lav. So back to our original question, why do we wait so long to catch up to Eretz Yisrael's laning in Chutz? So I found several reasons. I'm actually looking for more reasons, something that really would get me more. I'm going to share what I have, and between now and Devarim, if you contact me at devarman2 at Yahoo or on YouTube, that way, yahoo.com, then I'll be able to provide an update. But some of the answers I heard were one from cited from the Levush, that since there's several different parshios that are connected, like Acharei Mos Kedoshim, Tashriya Mitzora, Matos-Maasei, Bahar Bechukosai, there's a preference, for whatever reason, to have the ones that are most connected to each other, to be the ones that we cast up to Eretz Yisrael. I don't know why that's not sufficient to have any one. And in this case, Matos-Maasei has the very obvious traveling connection, and they discuss Eretz Yisrael, which is another thing that we'll get to a little bit later. So that is the preference, to use that to combine to cast up to Eretz Yisrael. The next one would be Tashriya Mitzora, very connected, but low on the totem pole is Acharei Mos Kedoshim. That's why we wait. Another explanation is that since Shavuos, which is considered the Rosh Hashanah for fruits, so Ezra enacted his rule, or applied his rule, that we should finish the year and its curses, and so because we're being judged on Shavuos also. So Bechukosai, we try to get that before the holiday, but we don't want it to be too close. So we make sure always to have Bamidbar as the parsha before, just about always, of a Shavuos. And so this way we will keep Bechukosai, by not combining the Parshas Acharei Mos Kedoshim, we'll keep Shavuos, we'll keep Bechukosai before Shavuos, but not immediately before Shavuos, but close enough to recognize it. Now, I'm not so thrilled about that because it doesn't help us in Eretz Yisrael, but one explanation is that in Eretz Yisrael, we can't help them, but at least in Chutz La'aretz, we're taking this option to help them. And finally, more maybe homiletically, I've heard different explanations and read different explanations related to that it's Eretz Yisrael. Matos-Maasei has a greater connection to Eretz Yisrael, talking about the traveling, settling in Eretz Yisrael, and therefore it reminds us the connection of Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael. Similarly, the general thought is the fact that we're misaligned reminds us that we're trying to be connected to Eretz Yisrael. Whatever Matzav is there, we should consider. They should consider our Matzav, and that is why we wait to that symbolic Matos-Maasei. We don't do it immediately and right away. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and wonderful Shabbos. Hope you'll listen every week. Subscribe on YouTube. Via email, I can send you something on Facebook. And have a great Shabbos.